are here with Matt Flaherty. He is your second place 2021 Leadville champion. Second place champion? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Something like that.
All right, I wasn't super familiar with you, but now I kind of understand you're a musician. You work for city council.
Yeah.
You have a law degree.
Yeah.
You're an ultra runner and a coach. So just tell me how you make it all work.
Yeah. I think I've been off the radar for a few years now. So life got pretty busy. I was back in grad school to get some policy and environmental science degrees. So I do like climate change, energy policy research.
So you're sure? Yeah.
And that oddly led me to running for city council in Bloomington, Indiana, where I live. And I was fortunate enough to get elected. So I'm now doing that, which is basically a half-time job. I'm picking up some classes at the university to teach at Indiana University this fall. And then also, I've had a run coaching business for like a decade now, which is really great. Pretty small scale. It's always been kind of a side hustle for me, like never a full-time thing. But for like a 5-year stretch there early in my time in the sport, which started in about 2010, 2011, I was, eking out a living and running by writing articles for, Ultra Running Mag and coaching folks and racing. So kind of doing that in the early 2010s, and then life got too busy the last few years and just kind of barely raced. Training took a back seat, and I don't know, like everybody, COVID was kind of a unique and obviously challenging time, but also time to kind of like reflect on goals and priorities and maybe get after a training. So I was able to think about what I wanted to do, and I'd never run a 100-miler, so I was like, I'm 36 years old. It's before I'm like over the hill in the sport, like it's time to try to go run UTMB and Western and Leadville and do those finally. So I was kind of held off before. I was lucky enough to get in the lottery here and made the most of it. So really fun.
Absolutely. So for someone like me, I'm a flight attendant. I have a YouTube channel, which takes up way more time than I thought it would.
Yeah.
And I try to run 75-mile weeks, which is really hard. How do you manage all of that and still get in training enough to compete at this high level?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think there's a lot. When I coach folks, it's all about what's optimal for your life. People have kids and varying levels of life stress and jobs and abilities to train, and it's about optimizing that puzzle. There's no magic number of miles or years running or anything else like that. Obviously, the longer you run, the more you run, you've got this kind of lifetime aerobic base to build on. So I'm fortunate enough to have been running competitively for 20 years, so I can call on that a little bit, because I definitely don't run as high miles. I think Adrian, who won, it ran 110 miles a week for 12 weeks straight coming into this.
Yep.
I put in one big training block out here, where I put in maybe 300-mile weeks at elevation running the course, but my average mileage for the year tends to be like 50 or 60.
Okay.
Because my work fluctuates, and I'll have a day or a week where I'll miss a few days and like barely get it in, and that's just kind of I accept that. Yeah, it's the nature of life. So you try to do it the most with like what you have, and sometimes that works out. There's always, it'd be nice if we were all just professionals and physios and trained full time in the sport we love. But I think there's a lot of beauty to like trying to work with what your situation is and get the most out of yourself given those constraints. And that's what I always try to tell athletes is like, our goal is to like get you to maximize your performance for your situation, and like that's okay. Like it doesn't need you don't have to be a full-time runner, and like we can all be out here testing ourselves and trying to execute and do our best. So
pushing our limits, absolutely. So let's talk about the race and pushing limits. So we saw you at Pipeline. I think you were 4th place at that point.
Early on.
No,
or
Pipeline coming back.
Yeah.
And we knew that everyone was looking pretty strong, but within Pipeline. From Pipeline, May Queen to the finish, you closed a very, very large gap and managed to get second. How did that happen?
Yeah, I think coming into Twin Lakes number 2, so up and over Hope Pass, both directions, I lost a little time. Both Anton and Ian Sharman are like heck of good climbers, and I work on my climbing a lot, but I live in Bloomington, Indiana. I'm not a mountain athlete.
I have questions about that.
So I lost a little time there, but was hanging on. I think maybe Anton had like 12 minutes on me at Twin Lakes, Ian a little less. And so as we climbed out of there to like the Lily Ponds on the Colorado Trail, there's like a nice like 8 or 9 mile stretch that becomes really runnable from around there all the way down to outbound. And I'm somebody with like a 2:21 marathon in my background, and like still have that kind of speed. So I rolled like 7:30s for like 8 miles straight, and like closed it between, like on the way to outbound. So like I was down to 7 and 5 minute gaps, or 7 and 2 minute gaps or something like that. Was able to pass Ian, who I think was starting to have a bit of a rough go, coming out of outbound on the way to power line. And then I know he's a really good climber, so tried to put in a good effort over power line. I think he hung pretty close for a while there, but then eventually things kind of unraveled. And then Tony, I didn't know if I'd catch him. You know, it seems like that 5 minute gap was just holding. I didn't know what it was at May Queen, but I was running scared of Ian still. I was afraid he was going to catch me. Also, one of my time goals was sub 17 hours.
Okay.
And I came through May Queen in 14:59. So I had 2 hours and 1 minute to do it, and I just knew from past splits what other people have done. I was like, it's going to take an effort. So really tried to keep moving efficiently along turquoise, and you know, was fortunate and surprised around the kind of base of the lake to just come up on Tony, and he was feeling a little rough, I think, and I was feeling pretty decent, so put in a little surge, dropped a couple of faster miles, and I was able to move past him and hold on. So it was definitely very painful. It's like the last thing you want to be doing in the last 5 to 10 miles of an ultra is like having to press, right? But that you want the easy way out where it's like, can't I just run it in and like have a nice finish?
Yeah.
But the time goal and the competition kind of takes over, and in the end it's good. It's, you know, I'm glad that was the situation. Like I would definitely went way faster because of Ian and because of Anton having that competition among us over the last 30, 40 miles, honestly. It was, you know,
neck and neck.
So
I had no idea how it was going to shake out.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went down.
Yeah. Well, how would you say you feel about your performance?
Great. I mean, I thought, you know, maybe perfect day I could go like 16:30s or 40s or something. I'm not sure if that's accurate on the training I had. I felt like I executed like pretty perfectly. Maybe had, you know, 10 minutes out there on the course. I banged up my knee. I smashed it on a rock at like mile 9. Ooh. And then it was really bugging me on the downhill. So like I definitely lost some time on the descending because I couldn't really have appropriate form. It was like kind of an awkward limp gait. And it, you know, it feels okay today. I think it's just gonna be bruised, and that's okay. So like, I don't know, there's some minutes out there, always ways to improve training, learn more. But honestly, for a first 100 miler, I know that it's hard to nail that. A lot of folks, you know, I'm lucky in some respects. A lot of things can go wrong, and you know, for me, they really didn't too much. So no, I'm thrilled with the time and place.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. All through the day, it was just so fun watching everybody kind of jockey for positions, and the strength that the top 4 of y'all showed. I was just like, wow, y'all look like veterans, and 2 of y'all have never run 100. It was crazy. Do you have anything else to add? Anyone you want to thank or talk about protecting our winters?
Oh, well, sure.
Whatever you want to do.
Any of those. Well, thanks for your channel and for, you know, putting some content out there and talking to folks. Obviously, thanks to the whole Leadville, you know, family, volunteers, and my, you know, support from crew, family, and pacers and stuff. But yeah, if you don't know how to protect our winters, go check it out. I'm not like affiliated or anything. I just support them. I think, you know, a good land ethic and stewardship of the land we run through is really important to the trail running community, and I'm hopeful that we can like continue to work on doing more to reduce our collective footprint in the sport. I'd love to see like carbon offsets become like the norm for like any race travel, and like, you know, there's other things we can do, of course, too, and there's a lot of really good efforts underway. But you know, POW is like one way to get involved and channel some of the passion that we have for, you know, covering long distances in beautiful places like this, and you know, try to do some good at the same time and help protect the places we love. So that's it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for giving me some of your time, and congrats once again.
Thanks.
Best of luck resting up.
Yeah, appreciate it. Recovery time.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Take it easy.
Yeah, thanks.